This is Stormwreck Isle session 5, which took place last night. So the January, February, March, April, May the 9th, 2025. We finished up last session with us defeating some undead, which I think they were ghouls. I can't be sure, and I don't think Warpos ever checked. So we just finished those off, and we were on the top floor of a ship. There was a proper ship as well. It was like a multi-floor, not quite galleon, but it's a big ship. Which we eventually found out the name of the ship was the Comrade's Rest. I need to check that. I think it's the Comrade's Rest. But Warpos' notes are dreadful. We began the session by levelling to level 3, yay! And then we started working our way down the ship, so level by level. When we got to the bottom of the ship, or galleon, whatever the fuck, it was partially waterlogged. Obviously, it's a shipwreck, so it's going to be partially in the water. We did find some valuables in there, so we wanted to get it searched. We volunteered Brom, a dwarven compatriot of great intelligence and bravery, to head down there. Unfortunately, the water had some sharks. Oh no. It's alright, we're not rid of him yet. Oh, for the levelling to level 3. Sorry, Rafi, you're going to have to do some more levelling. But Bron went downstairs, shortly followed by the rest of the party, when it turned out it wasn't just sharks down there. It was... We never fully worked out what it was. Some kind of aquatic humanoid who used tridents, spoke a language we didn't understand, and could command the sharks. I don't know. We'll have to work it out at some point. But hopefully we never come across more of those. We defeat that thing and a handful of sharks. And then we finally manage to drag the chest up, just so we can get the chest open, we can deal with it. And okay, so in our party we have Othello, who's a Goliath, big guy. We have Freddy, a human fighter, who is, a big guy. We have Brom, a dwarven barbarian. The guy shouts a lot and runs around. I'm assuming he's a barbarian or he's just damaged. But a medium-sized but big guy. Then we have, Rafi wasn't around. We were looking for Rafi, but we couldn't find him. Don't know where she's gone. Hopefully Rafi turns up relatively soon. And then we have Orianthe, who's a tiefling, so you would expect big woman, but no, Rafi's fairly waif-like and quite thin. And there's me, a gnome wizard, the pinnacle of strength. So the 4 strong people ahead, you think they would grab the big fucking chest and then spend loads of energy dragging that up the stairs? Oh, no. It's actually going to be the Gnome Wizard and Orianthe, who the pair of us drag it upstairs instead. You fucking useless bastards. We could have really done with the help there, but no, it's fine. We'll deal with the heavy chest. You fucks. We cracked the chest open, I think. I think Brom cracks the chest open, actually. We find some money, some shinies. Brom managed to find silver bars, I think, from the chest. He did a very, very good job in hiding those. searching through the rest of the ship, we did search the place, pretty much turned the whole thing over. We do eventually find out that the name of the ship is the Comrade's Rest, I think. I'll have to double check that. And that there was a person, I assume a woman, but a person called Othelia, who killed the captain. So we find this out through the captain's log. So the captain notes in his log that there's a woman, Othelia, travelling with them, who shouts something about Oricus, who I'll get onto in a second, but shouts something about Oricus, and then sinks her fucking teeth into his neck, killing him. Which, hold on, how did he write in the notebook? It doesn't matter. I'm sure the captain was very capable. But Oricus kills him, and then I believe she's what raises the rest of the crew as undead. I think. She was travelling, and Othelia was travelling to her husband on Dragon's Rest. So her husband, yes, so it was a woman. We do not find out the name of the captain or who her husband is. Fine. And marking the last page of the captain's log was a talisman made out of braided pieces of hair. Not even the same hair. It's braided pieces of brown hair and I believe light hair wrapped around finger bones. People are weird, dude. Fine. Some context on Oricus that we found out just after we started reading about just started reading it from the captain's log. Oricus is a demon lord whose goal appears to be to turn the world, or worlds, or planes, into undeath. Undead often worship him, which leads me to think that now I've got some time away from it. We're camping now. We're back in Dragon's Rest. We're camping now. Now I've got some time to think about it. I think Othelia was dead. So Othelia killing someone by biting into their neck. That's a vampire, right? We'll have to find out. Anyway, so after we're done with that, we spend, I think it's about 3.5 hours rowing back to Dragon's Rest. Because we're pretty done with the ship. The rest of the shipwrecks in the area look too knackered anyway. We gave them a quick assessment. No, too knackered. Now we're back at Dragon's Rest. I think we're currently... So the rest of the party are just chatting with the cook at the moment. And then I think once they're done chatting to the cook, I think the kobold merchant woman, who Brom seems to have taken a liking to, or Brom seems to have taken a liking to a kobold. I can't remember. Once we're done there, I think we're going to rest today, and then we are going to head somewhere tomorrow. That's it. So Renara, right, some information about Renara. Renara, I thought, and all of us thought, that Renara was just the woman looking after the temple. No. Renara's not just some woman looking after the temple. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be too easy. Renara's a bronze dragon. Wild. Worst bit about this, Brom just nailed it. I hate that dwarf so much. How can a dwarf who is already... Dwarves are already boneheaded. How can a dwarf who's that boneheaded be so intelligent? I don't understand it. That bloody dwarf nails it every single time. I hate him so much. I studied evocation for years to get to this level, and the guy just knows things. I give up. But Renara, the bronze dragon, in her bronze dragon form, informed us that Arden, I believe, is a wormling. So a young dragon. Wormlings are like young dragons. Has gone missing for like 3 months. You would think if you could fly and you were a massive bronze dragon, you would go and look yourself. So this feels very much like a test for us. I don't think Arden exists. I should tell the party about that. I imagine Brom's guessed it already. Fucking dwarf. But Arden's a wormling who has gone missing at the Clifftop Observatory, which is a couple of hours south of here. But the way the observatory is constructed, allegedly, according to our new bronze dragon friend, Renara, it would maybe be easier to sail around the island, dock at the observatory, and then travel up instead of walking down, because there may be an element of... So the observatory is spurred somewhat off of the island, presumably in the same way as a lighthouse is. Maybe it was a lighthouse once. Do they have lighthouses on this island? No, yeah, it doesn't matter. But instead of walking down and then having to swim across, because the Freddy is not going to be able to do that, I don't think, because Freddy is mostly made of heavy metals and weaponry, and I think if we put Freddy near the water, he will sink, and I don't think that human can breathe underwater. And I'm not going to use one of my spells for the day to help him do that. Because I can't. That's not a spell I have. But Arden, the wormling who is allegedly missing, despite a big bronze dragon being perfectly capable of going to find him, such a test, is or was lost at the observatory. So we're going to head down there, I think, tomorrow. We're going to grab some lunch and then some dinner. Then Brom's going to hit on the local fauna. And then I think we're going to head off tomorrow. And that, I believe, is what we're up to. Let's see what happens in Stormwreck 6.